In my last video, I laid out what's happening here in the Chicago market right now. Northwestern and Rush are tightening their referral networks. Equinox is rolling out clinical memberships. Lifetime Miura is bundling dietitians, lab work, and GLP-1 support under one roof. A consolidating market is putting real pressure on independent private practices across the city. If you haven't watched that one yet, I'll link it right here. It's worth 10 minutes of your time before this one. But today, I want to move past that, because here is what I know to be true. Every market shift creates losers, but it also creates winners. And the winners are not always the biggest players. Sometimes they're the ones who got very clear very fast about what they were building and who it's for. I want to show you 3 real examples of that. The first is someone I know personally. His name is Aldrin Oxing. Most people call him Buzz. He's a physiotherapist, entrepreneur, and the founder of Proform Physiotherapy, a group of premium clinics based in Sydney, Australia. I know, Sydney is not Chicago, and it's not the US. The healthcare system is different, the regulatory environment is different, but the business principles Buzz operates from are identical to what works here. Western market, private practice model, similar consumer expectations around trust and relationship. The parallels are real and the lessons travel. I actually worked with Buzz as a patient. He helped me with some back pain that I was suffering from. And one thing that I noticed wasn't just that it worked, but it was how he ran the entire experience. It's a clear process, consistent follow-up. He knew exactly what I needed and communicated it clearly without overcomplicating it. So when I had him on my podcast, I asked him about it. You can check out that full conversation in the description below. Buzz started his practice out of his parents' living room the day he graduated. No business training, no capital, just a clinical skill and a willingness to figure the rest out. Fast forward 14 years, he now runs multiple locations across Sydney, including flagship clinics and what he calls satellite clinics, which are small treatment rooms embedded inside gyms and women's health studios. That last part is worth pausing on. Buzz didn't wait for gym brands to come to him. He went to them first. He embedded his practice inside the spaces where his ideal clients already spent their time. And he did it without losing his identity. Proform's brand, its premium positioning, its clinical standards, all of that travels with him and his team into those spaces. Think about what that looks like in a city like Chicago. A PT practice with a clear niche embedding inside a River North fitness studio? A dietitian positioning inside a North Shore women's health space? A sports rehab practice partnering with a Lakeview running club? The gym as clinic trend is moving in one direction. There's nothing stopping a well-positioned private practice from moving the other way. When I asked Buzz what made the difference, he said something that stuck with me. He said you have to understand your dream patient better than they understand themselves. Not just who they are demographically, but what keeps them up at night, what they actually want, what problems they have that you know you can solve. That's not just clinical insight, that's brand insight. And that's why Proform has grown while so many other practices have remained flat. The second example is Physical Therapy and Balance Centers, a franchise based in the US. I know what some of you are thinking, franchises are not your typical private practice. And you're right, but the strategic decision at the core of Physical's model is exactly what independent practices in Chicago need to hear. Physical scale by going narrower, not broader. They chose to focus on vestibular and balance programs, dizziness, fall prevention, inner ear rehabilitation, a clinical area that requires specialized training and equipment. One that gym and clinic hybrids and PT Nils are not equipped to handle and serve well. The result is that Physical became the obvious choice for a specific problem. Not one of many options, the option. And when you become the obvious choice for a specific problem, you stop competing on price, on convenience, on amenities. You compete on expertise. That's something Northwestern can credential, but cannot replicate at the relationship level. And it's something that Equinox cannot replicate at all. That's a lesson worth writing down. The practices winning right now are not trying to out-feature the big players. They're going deeper into something meaningful until there is no competition left. Or as Buzz likes to refer to it, a practice of one. The third example is less about a single named practice and more about a pattern I'm watching across independent dietitian practices right now, as gym chains add nutrition services to their memberships and corporate wellness programs expand their dietitian offerings. A lot of private practice dietitians have panicked and done one of two things. They've either dropped their prices to compete, or they've added more services to seem more comprehensive. Both of those moves make the problem worse. The dietitians that are holding their ground and even growing are doing the opposite. They're positioning themselves as premium specialists with a specific focus: blood sugar management, weight loss for GLP users, eating disorder recovery, GI-focused nutrition, performance nutrition for endurance athletes. In a city like Chicago, that specifically has a geographic dimension to it. A dietitian known specifically among West Loop professionals for stress-related eating and metabolic health is not competing with Lifetime Miura. They're in a completely different conversation. Research shows that patients in independent practices report 26% higher satisfaction rates than those in hospital-owned practices. The reason cited consistently is personalized interaction and unhurried appointments. That's not a small edge. That's the core of what a private practice dietitian can offer that gym memberships never will. But that edge only works if you communicate it clearly. A generic website that just says you help people reach their health goals doesn't communicate that edge. It actually buries it. The dietitians winning right now are the ones that have a message so specific that a potential patient reads it and says, "That's me." 3 different disciplines, 3 different markets, 3 different approaches to growth. But look at what they have in common. None of them tried to outscale the big players. None of them competed on price. Every one of them got narrower, more specific, and more importantly, more referable. They made it easier for the right person to find them and made it harder for the wrong person to mistake them for someone else. That's not a coincidence, that's a pattern. And it's available to any private practice owner in Chicago who's willing to make the decision. The decision is often the hardest part, not the execution. In my next video, I'm going to break down the specific strategic moves behind what you saw today. Not more case studies, but the actual frameworks. What it looks like to get narrow in a market like Chicago. How to find the position that your practice can own. How to communicate it in a way that moves people. If you've watched both videos in this series and you're thinking, I need help doing this for my specific practice, that's exactly what I do. I'm based here in Chicago and I work specifically with therapy and allied health private practice owners. There's a link below to book a call with me. We'll talk about where your practice is right now and whether working together makes sense. If you're not ready for that yet, subscribe. Video C drops soon and it's the most actionable in the series. I'm Bryan Butler. I'm based in Chicago and I help therapy and allied health private practice owners clarify their message, build trust, and grow the practice that they actually want. I'll see you at the next one.